Welcome. I was saying I'm glad we didn't hold this last night during the ball game. I don't think we'd have got the attendance we got tonight. I'm Clayton Wicks. I'm CEO of the Swift-Current District Chamber of Commerce. We are very pleased and would like to thank both the City of Swift-Current and Living Sky Casino for volunteering their facility, and the city for approaching the chamber asking if we'd be willing to host the forum. In preparation for this, I guess it does give the chamber the opportunity to spend about a minute telling you what the chamber's about, because we put some effort into it too, so now you got to listen to us about the chamber for a minute. We got approximately 300 business members of the 10,000 that are in Saskatchewan and about 200,000 members across Canada. Our motto is kind of advocate, develop, and connect, and because this is a political forum, I think advocacy is probably a good topic to talk about. Even though we've only got about 300 members, our chamber has a vote that is equal to Vancouver Board of Trade. So don't think just because you're a small business in Swift-Current that your voice doesn't mean something to the people in power in Ottawa. Across Canada, over 90% of chamber members are members with employees of 1 to 5 people. So it is about 175,000 members across Canada that are actually very small businesses that can give their opinion to Canada. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce has an annual convention that we go to, and we all get a vote. This year there was actually 70 resolutions that were brought forward, and they ranged anywhere from credit card merchant fees, GST filing thresholds, tax fairness for the golf industry, and a whole bunch more. So these are thrashed out with chamber members or chambers like Swift-Current all across Canada. Some of the resolutions passed with 67%, and 66 2/3% is what's required for the motion to go, or for the resolution to go forward. So one vote does mean a lot. So if you let your chamber know your opinion on some of these, we can definitely help you out. So that's enough about the chamber. If you want to know a lot more, we have affinity programs and stuff, but we'll keep it just to the advocacy for now. All the candidates that you see before you and that put their names forth were invited and confirmed their attendance at this convention, or at this forum. After the speeches, there will be questions that will be welcomed from the floor. If you don't feel like going to a mic, if you hold up your hand and have a written one, we will accept written ones. We'll have a volunteer come and get them from you. We have email as well. These will all be reviewed before being presented, so if they're not to topic or not to our satisfaction, they won't be brought forward. This is a forum and not a debate, so we will request that all candidates and all you in the audience be respectful of each other. I want to thank all the candidates for their attention. We do appreciate them getting involved in providing information to our voters and helping you make an informed decision on October 26th. We're on a tight timeline, so we'll keep the forum on topic, on track, and it's our intention to provide an unbiased forum that will be informative for you. We are very fortunate to have as our moderator, Mr. Steve Kreitzer. He's our public prosecutor here in Swift-Current and has resided in Swift-Current for about 23 years, married to Pam with a couple of kids. Well-known, well-respected City of Swift-Current person, politically neutral, and the Swift-Current Chamber of Commerce is very grateful that he accepted the position of moderator for the forum. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Kreitzer.
Hi. I'd just like to start with thanking the Chamber for putting on the All Candidates Forum. It's super helpful to us here in the City of Swift-Current to get to know a little bit more about our candidates and prepare ourselves for marking our X on October 26th. I'd also like to take this opportunity. There are 2 members of the current council who have decided not to let their names stand. Councillor Gord Budd, who I believe is present just over here, and Mayor Jared Schaefer. I'm not sure where Mayor Schaefer is located at. It's always right beside each other. Good. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for all the effort that you've put in over the last few years representing our city and helping our city grow. On a personal note, there were times, Mayor Schaefer, when I'd watch other mayors implode on the national scene, and at the same time, there was the mayor of Swift Current representing our city in a proud and strong way. Really gave us pause. Thanks also to all of you who are attending tonight. As I was coming in, I heard that some of the roads are noted at this point in time, not recommended for travel. So for those of you who've made the effort to attend, thank you very much. Those of you who are watching us on streaming video at home, thank you very much for also paying attention to this important forum. I'd also like to, at this point in time, thank the members here that are seated before us for putting their names forward. I think any politician will tell you that it takes a lot of sacrifice to put your name out there and run at the risk of failure. It's a very brave thing for them to have done, and we would like to take the time right now on behalf of the citizens of Swift Current to thank all of the persons who put their names forward to stand in this election. Thank you very much. I'd also like to take this pause for this moment. If everyone could just check your phones, your cell phones, make sure that they're, I don't own one, so I'm not sure how you do it, but you should shut the ringers off, turn them to vibrate, whatever it is that you do. It's very difficult to stand up here and answer questions. It's just a bit respectful for you that they don't go off and ring while someone's trying to be focused on presenting something to us or answering a question. I'd also ask you to hold your applause until the end, until all candidates have spoken. So anything both positive and negative, if we could just hold that off until the end, that way we can stay on schedule and continue to run through as many of these candidates as we can get through. The format for tonight will be that we'll have the mayoral candidates speak for 4 minutes each, presenting information that they think is important for you to hear. The councillors will then go through. We've drawn them, all persons have been drawn randomly. So we'll start with Mr. Allison as a councillor candidate, and we'll run through. They'll have 3 minutes each to present. At the end of that, we will throw the meeting open for questions. There are mics on either stairway, and you can attend to those and put your questions. What we're going to ask is that you actually direct your questions to 1 or 2 of the candidates that you feel it would be important to hear from. We'll also throw it open at the end of those 2 candidates to see if any of the other candidates feel very excited about that topic and maybe they want to chime in as well. So we'll let others speak as well. If at any time the candidates need a break, we've told them already that they can get up, go off the stage, and then come back. So if you see any of them get up and leave, don't worry, they should be coming back. We'll start first with the mayoral candidates, and I understand that mayoral candidate Dennis Perot has drawn first draw, so we'll hear from Mr. Dennis Perot.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here this evening. Before I begin, I'd like to thank our moderator, Steve Kreitzer, for his role in the forum, and I wish all of our candidates the very best. Tonight is what Swift Current is and has always been about. People stepping up and showing up. People volunteering. People working for the betterment of our community. I want to continue this growth to serve our people of Swift Current. This past week, I was looking at a map of our city from 2009. That's the year I was first elected. The developments in the last 7 years are nothing short of remarkable. You can see the changes, and you can see our city's growth. If you look to the north, you'll see a brand new hospital, 2 new schools, and a new long-term care facility, but you'll also see a brand new community in Sask Valley. When you look to the east, you see large corporations like Sport Chek and Mark's Work Warehouse and Canadian Tire who are looking to Swift Current as the place to invest and to grow. If you look to the south, you'll see an absolutely sold-out Monroe Industrial Park thanks to innovators and businesses like Blackbridge Brewery, who took a chance and saw Swift Current as the best place to build a craft brewery. If we look to our west, we see a brand new Sask power plant right in our RM, along with new investments by companies like JD AgTech and Full Line Ag, because they saw the Swift Current region as the best place to grow. Across this city, we see new homes built for families of all shapes and all sizes, which are welcoming and inclusive. We support our families with a variety of city amenities, things like amazing parks and walking trails, 2 great golf courses, nature play programs, dedicated bus routes, and of course our world-class market square. We provide affordable and accessible programs so that all children can learn and play safely. We have infrastructure that will support healthy and active growing children. For the last 7 years, I've been an active part of this city's growth as your city councillor and a proud community member, a role I wish to continue and serve if elected as your mayor. So what do I see in the future for Swift Current? I see a continuation of this momentum and growth while sustaining a safe and a caring community. Going forward, I would strive to attract new businesses and partnerships, because new businesses mean jobs, jobs mean people, and people mean families, families which are key to the continued growth of our city. Well, what does that mean to you? What do I bring to the table to ensure that this vision becomes a reality? I bring a family-oriented mindset as I work along with my wife Leah and our son Luke in the community that we so dearly love. I bring a collaborative approach, having worked over the past 7 years not just within council, but in all levels of government, and have worked alongside our entrepreneurs who look to the city as a place to invest and grow. I bring a financial background as a proud chartered accountant. I bring a business background as an owner and operator of my own businesses. And I bring governance experience as a member of our city council, but also as someone who's served on quite a few different boards. Make no mistake, City Council is exactly that. It's a board, one where the mayor as chair is not there to dictate or to impose his viewpoint, but instead acts as one who is there to guide, to encourage discussion, and to give everyone a voice and respect, even if that voice offers a differing point of view. It's a position of leadership. Tonight, as you listen to all of the candidates before you, not only for mayor, but also for the 6 positions on council, leadership should be top of mind. As for the next mayor and city councillors who will be working for you, they should each offer respect for the position before them, a collaborative nature, a passion for our city, a positive outlook for what is possible, and experience in understanding what leadership entails. Friends, thank you for coming tonight, and if elected as your mayor, I'll do exactly that for you. As you head to the polls on Wednesday, October 26th, I humbly ask for your support to grow Swift. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pearl. Kathy Fraser.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm not a politician. I have business background. I've owned 4 of my own restaurants. I've managed motels. I have been kitchen manager for a few places. So that's my background. 2006, I came to Swift Current, first from BC and then Alberta, and I fell in love with the city. And I got to know the people, and I thought, wow, generous, caring. It filled my heart, and I thought, I want to unpack my bags here and make my living here and maybe possibly even retire here. Then I thought, 10 years later, I think it's time for me to stand up to the plate and put my name as for mayor. First of all, no offense, Dennis. I didn't think that anyone that had never held that position should go in acclaimed. I feel their agenda and their platform should be out there and the people should decide. Second of all, I'm very, very, very concerned. First of all, the property taxes. They're just galloping. And it doesn't matter if you're a homeowner or a renter. It doesn't matter if you're a single or a family. Doesn't matter if you're on a limited income, a small minimum wage income, or any income or business. It's going too fast. It's too much. I do believe that there's 25,000 people in 2025. If this continues at the rate it is, the property taxes, I don't think we'll even maintain our present current amount of people of just over 17,000. Another thing is the debt. I think that it's always tomorrow, tomorrow. Debt is necessary. I'll agree to that. But we have to keep it under control, because any money that is paid out in interest or principal is money that we don't have to work on. Things are tough in the province, they're tough in Canada, and yes, they will get better, but we need to look after Swift Current. Another thing is the debt load. It's been broken down into about 5 categories. Number 1 category is land development, about $15 million. Now, I don't know how many projects that $15 million covers, but I want to suggest that Spring Valley and also the Elmwood Golf Course project deal was not in the best interest of the citizens. That's you, the taxpayer. I do not believe that your money was 100% secured, and I don't think that it should have gone through if it wasn't. And a mayor and 6 council members are elected, and they are to manage your money and the city. But you are the city. Your input, your voice, how you want this city to go, your concerns should be addressed respectfully and honestly. And in some cases, I think it's been on the back burner, not intentionally. I think the mayor and council have done a fantastic job in lots of ways. But I think we have to look after Swift Current, and I think the taxpayers in that should have more involvement. I think my time is probably about up. There's other concerns, of course, I have, but that was my main ones. So please, on October 26th, exercise your right to vote, because only you can determine which way you want your city to go and grow. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fraser. We'll just hold the applause until the end if we can. Maria Rose Lewins.
Hello. What the heck? Biophilia, it's love of life or living systems. Our deep connection with nature, studies on the matter of biophilia show the healing power of nature. For those in hospitals, prisons, those dealing with depression and anxiety, the list goes on. Nature is at the root of our being. We breathe the air, drink the water, eat the plants and animals. The insects pollinate our food supplies, the trees clean our air. Let's face it, without nature, we do not exist. There is a reason we call Earth Mother Earth. She gives us life and all we need to survive. We should treat the earth as we would treat our mothers, without most respect, gratitude, and love. What do I believe in? Obviously, nature and doing what's best for it. And I think the more we are aware and care for our environment, the stronger we are as people, which creates a stronger community. I believe in strong environmental stewardship. I've read a lot about the transition movement and permaculture. A lot of it's grassroots community projects. It's designing cities and communities that work with the laws of and the ecological principles. This means keeping care of our water supply. Clean water is very important to the future of all. We see with these spills happening around, and by creating more localized, sustainable communities and ways of living, we can help minimize the impacts of economic downturn. We can do our part for the environment. We need to take more personal responsibility, I think, for the way this world is going. We can blame the government for a lot, which is easy to do. It's a lot harder to look within at what we can do to help make this world a better place and this community a better place. So ideas, I think it'd be neat to have, hey, we're planting trees, why don't we plant fruit trees, have some orchards. A lot of community gardens. Let's create systems. The service clubs are dying out. How can we encourage more involvement in the service clubs? How can we get people engaged in the community? I thought it was kind of, to see one candidate running for mayor in a city the size of Swift Current seems I'm just gonna, okay, here's another thing I wrote. Always strive for the whole, but if you cannot become one on your own, then serve as part of one. That's Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Anyways, good luck to all the candidates, and thanks for coming out, everybody.
Thank you very much. Those are your three mayoral candidates, and I think you can see we have three very distinct choices to make amongst the three. There were some topics that were brought up. I think in the questions we'll likely hit on those topics again, so I think at that point in time we'll get more of a response from the various mayoral candidates as to how they position themselves on those issues. We'll move on now to our councillor candidates, and we're starting off with Kirk Allison.
Mr. Moderator, fellow candidates, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kirk Allison, and I appreciate your interest in the upcoming election and in the candidates that are running for office. Like my fellow candidates, I have been knocking on doors and talking to business owners, not only to pitch myself, but to get their feedback on issues as they see them. Following is a brief summary of some of their concerns and suggestions. Number one, a perennial favorite, parking in the downtown business district. Of course, depending on the circumstances, the opinions are varied. Support for and promotion of downtown business. The conditions of city streets. When I moved back to Swift Current 3 years ago, I was surprised, quite honestly, at the poor condition of our streets. Last winter, when I was driving shuttle for the World Women's Curling Championship, I was a little embarrassed as we pounded up Highway 4 and bounced across the service roads. Now, to the city's credit, much has been done this past year. Swift Current's debt load, continued funding of our existing transit and expansion, if warranted and feasible. Urban sprawl, possibly to the detriment of the downtown and the south side. The south side, they feel left out. They've lost 2 schools, would like to see more businesses on that side of the tracks, and needless to say, the overpass. I had the white elephant, the overpass. Any and all concerns of our citizens are the issues and need to be considered. But what one individual said to me put everything into perspective. I want the city to do things that help everyone. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what good governance is, providing the best services for the most people with the resources available. I'm asking you, what is your vision for the future of Swift Current? What services and facilities would you like to see? How much growth and in what areas? My door is open. Call or text me. My number is on my business cards and my campaign signs. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a very diverse and talented field of candidates for council. I'm sure whomever you choose to represent you will do their best, but they don't govern alone. They have to work together. I would be honored to be a part of the team that serves the city of Swift Current into the next decade. Thank you.
Mr. Allison. We'll now hear from Wayne Cormier.
Good evening. My name is Wayne Cormier, and I'm asking for your support on October 26. My platform is one that addresses the needs of all sectors of our community: business, residential, not-for-profits, seniors, youth, and those of us in between. If elected, I will be advocating for more affordable senior housing, a reset on business and residential taxes, increasing the hours of operation for our city transit, the completion of the industrial park so that we have an adequate inventory of developed commercial space ready to go, a funding component for a senior citizen center, review our debt servicing model. For example, increasing our debt service percentage from 14 cents of every dollar, which is current, to approximately 20 cents in order to pay down the debt a little quicker. Supporting our businesses in the city of Swift Current is essential. Swift Current is founded on the hard work of entrepreneurs in every sector. Our future success is dependent on growing a healthy, diverse, and innovative economy. City Hall must ensure businesses have what they need from the city to succeed. We need our businesses to thrive in our market. Businesses in Swift Current have that made in Saskatchewan approach. They have a strong work ethic, they're humble, and not only care about, but feel they have a responsibility for the betterment of this community. As a council member, it will be vital for me to not only bring forth your concerns, but to listen to the years of our business owners' expertise as to how the problem would be solved with the issues that they face. A vote for me on October 26 is a vote for a fair and reasonable approach to governance. I value dedication and hard work, and I'm proud to call Swift Current my home. I promise you this, and I commit to you, I will work hard to ensure that Swift Current continues to be an inclusive community where everyone is valued and can succeed. A community of opportunity for everyone. And on behalf of my wife, Tricia, my daughter, Trista, and my son, Preston, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And in closing, I would like to thank the current mayor and council for their years of service. It's a tough job with tough decisions that need to be made. Thank you for looking after Swift Current. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cormier. Ryan Pluis.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for attending or tuning in online. It was 7 years and 2 terms ago that I first stood before you and asked you to put your faith in me. I did so at that time, being able to offer nothing in the way of prior experience, but offering a confident vision of a growing and more cohesive community. At that time, we were having a very unfortunate public conversation in the media about unwelcome furry guests, one that risked lasting damage to our reputation. I think you can all agree that this was never the best light that Swift Current has been seen in. Since that time, however, we have made significant changes in the narrative of our community. We have literally hosted the world, not once, but twice, at the wildly successful World Women's Curling Championships. We have mended many fences with our partners in the RM, ensuring that we have an abundant and reliable source of water for our shared community to grow. We have come together during floods to help our neighbors, filling and stacking sandbags through nights and days, and we have soared with the snowbirds and the kites at Windscape, welcoming visitors from every corner of the globe. Today I am here 7 years later with that same confidence in my vision for this community, but with the added benefit of experience. Since this election cycle began, some have suggested that our record over that period has been one of foolish or uncontrolled spending. I have pushed back on that notion because I know that we have the facts on our side. The truth is that the vast majority of our debt as a community is directly related to maintaining what we have now and being prepared for growth. Growth requires an investment that is not immediately returned, but that does not mean that there is no plan or action towards repayment. There is no doubt that financing such things requires prudence and balance. However, it also requires leadership and vision. If you plan to grow and flourish as a community, but invest nothing towards that end, you have made decisions that we thought would be in the best interests of the community that we love. As I look forward at the next 4 years, I can honestly say that I have never had more faith that our community has its best days yet ahead. We have a great thing going here, and we have come together like no time before. We have two perfect examples of this in Dory's House and the Safe Places program. When you look beneath the surface, both show us how our community has developed over the last several years. Both tear the cover off of indifference and confidently state for everyone that we will not turn a blind eye to the problems or risks that exist in our city, but instead, we will shine a light of a unified community on them. My goal for the next 4 years is to continue building that strong, prosperous, growing, and caring community. I have 2 young daughters. I have skin in this game, and I intend to leave this place better for them than it was even for me. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Pluis. Lawrence Carr.
It's already good. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening and the Chamber for hosting this important event. This upcoming civic election is going to be very important as residents utilize their voice to elect 7 individuals responsible for guiding our city for the next 4 years. Tonight, I'd like to share with you what I have to offer and I'm prepared to do on your behalf. I also want you to know that I like to think of myself as a guy of action and of words. So while speaking in front of you tonight, I may not have the greatest strength. Working on your behalf is where I would excel. I believe it is imperative to stay positive as elected officials are entrusted to not only maintain our community, but grow it as well with strategic decisions that benefit the entire community. I have been in business, construction, development, and I've put that experience to work on your behalf and the residents and businesses of this city. I am currently on the Chamber of Commerce, and I am a liaison with the city working with the power generation facility. I have promoted our city and the entire Southwest, and it's my intention to keep on doing that. I'm not one to sit around and wait for things to happen. I believe being proactive in business, and I believe the city needs to be proactive to foster more investment and continued development. I believe I offer valuable perspective. I was born in Saskatchewan, like many others, left to Alberta to pursue my career and opportunities in business. 7 years ago, on my way to Weyburn, our destination, I ended up in SwiftCurrent because of the opportunity and optimism we saw in the city. Needless to say, we never made it to Weyburn. Since this time, I've invested my time, my money into this community because SwiftCurrent is a great place to live and do business. From my experience the past 7 years, I want to tell just how good we have it here with the motivations of running this election, and we cannot squander away this period of growth because of fear. We wouldn't have the incredible construction population growth if investors did not see the same potential in this city that I believe in. We are fortunate enough to have high quality of life, economic advantages from living and doing business in this community. I know the people in this city believe that as well. We have a diversified economy built on agriculture, energy, manufacturing, and small businesses, and we need to take advantage of the impact, the power facility we have with SwiftCurrent, and be a part of that working for you. These next 4 years may very well define us as a city moving forward. Do we want to continue moving ahead or move back to the days of old Saskatchewan? I am ready to work for you and to ensure the city continues to grow, prosper, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Chris Martins.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here tonight and for all those viewing online as well. I respectfully ask for your support on October 26th. My decision to run for council wasn't based on wanting to step in because of all the things that I saw that needed to be changed or addressed. My decision was based on 2 things. The first, I love SwiftCurrent. I was born and raised here, and I've lived here my entire life shy of 4 years, and the 28 that I have been here have been amazing. When I moved back to Swift Current 9 years ago, I wasn't sure how long I would stay. Now, 9 years later, with my wife Amanda, daughter Delta, and 2 dogs, Meadow and Rio, I don't think I will ever leave. I don't want to. And the second reason, I wanted to be a part of the community moving forward into the future. A future that I will grow up with, my daughter will grow up with, and the same with all of you, your children, grandchildren, and more. My family will be directly affected by the decisions I hope to help make on council over the next 4 years, so I absolutely have the best intentions in mind to help move Swift Current forward. I may be the youngest one running for office, but I know I have the drive and the push to keep Swift Current growing. My platform is simple: community growth, family retention. How we can attain those takes effort on all parts. In order to continue to grow, we can't decide to halt moving the city forward. Yes, we have debt. Yes, the taxes have gone up over recent years, but putting a stop to any or all increases means putting a stop to moving the city forward. I believe a healthy discussion should happen on how we look at potential increases going forward, to see if there's a way to avoid large tax hikes at once, but rather minor increases over time, while still being able to accomplish growth. And family retention. With growth, more people want to stay. More families choose to make Swift Current their final destination. And the community prospers when that happens. They stay here. They retire here. They spend money locally, and we all win. Yes, our debt has increased over the last 4 years, but in that time frame, just to name a few, we have a brand new, beautiful schools, 2 of them for our children with Centennial and All Saints. A new state-of-the-art facility for long-term care in the Meadows, again, just to name a few. On top of the world-class events that we have seen come through our city, those would all not be possible if we weren't willing and committed to growth. On October the 26th, your vote matters. Whether you choose 1, 2, or 6 council members, make sure you do vote. We can't move Swift Current forward by taking a step back, and I will do everything I can to walk forward towards a bright and prosperous future in Swift Current. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martins. Mark Benish.
I would like to begin by thanking the Chamber of Commerce for all their work in setting up the forum. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight and showing their interest in the community. I also want to wish all the candidates the best in the upcoming election. I'm Mark Benish, and I work as a superintendent of schools for the Chinook School Division, and I'm running for the position of City Council. My wife, Mary Jane, and I moved to Swift Current in 2013 after living in the Southwest the previous 22 years. From the moment we arrived in Swift Current, we have appreciated all that the community has provided for us. Swift Current is a wonderfully progressive community with a wide range of services that make it a great place to live. I would like to commend the previous city councils to that end on their work growing and developing the community. Their foresight and investments in infrastructure, bus service, community development will pay long-term dividends in the future. As a former 4-term councillor from Shaunavon, I understand and appreciate the challenges that your council faced in balancing the many needs within our community. Swift Current is blessed with a range of important services, including Great Plains College, which provides a variety of great educational opportunities. Additionally, we have excellent healthcare facilities, great schools, upgraded care centers like the Meadows, vast recreational programs, as well as a focus on the arts with the Swift Current Allied Council, Arts Council, and the Lyric. Altogether, it provides a diverse and well-rounded experience for all Swift Current residents. My vision for Swift Current focuses on some core beliefs that I think are essential in keeping our community strong. I believe in providing a safe and supportive community. I believe in the importance of family. I believe in a balanced approach that sets goals that are focused on growth, with investments in infrastructure that benefit the community not only for today, but also for tomorrow. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I believe in keeping taxes low, which allows our business sector to be competitive and continue growing, while creating an attractive climate to encourage businesses and individuals to relocate to our city. I believe we need to provide opportunities and structures to meet the needs of all of our citizens, from youth to our seniors. I believe we need to listen and be accountable to you, our community. I believe we need to strengthen relationships with all our surrounding communities in the Southwest. I believe we need to communicate consistently and effectively to taxpayers, ensuring transparency. I believe in treating everyone with dignity and respect. Most importantly, I believe in you, the people of Swift Current, and the generous work you do in supporting your community. There are many examples, including Dory's House, the Center, Safe Places Initiative, the Newcomers Welcome Center, to name a few. It is you that make this community a great place to live. If I'm elected, I promise to bring a balanced, proactive, level-headed, positive approach to governance. I believe my strong administrative and leadership experience will allow me to work effectively with other members of council while bringing a fresh, independent, well-rounded Southwest perspective that will continue to move Swift Current forward. On October 26th, please check Mark and vote for Mark Benish for council.
Future growth. And number 4, considering the whole picture when it comes to our finances, spending, taxation, and debt. Let me be clear that council does not take on debt on a whim, but with serious thought, discussion, and planning for the needs of citizens now and in the future. Finally, I leave you with the shared goal for open and improved communications. This is your community and mine. Let's keep talking. This election is about the future, and it's about leadership. Who will lead our city into the future? I ask for your consideration on October 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat Friesen. Henry Banman.
Good evening. First of all, very quickly, a little brief history lesson. In 1911, we were a village of 500 people. In 1914, we were incorporated as a city with 5,000 people. From 500 to 5,000 in 3 years, where did that energy go? I want to look back and find out what energy that was and where it is today, because we need it. We've been creating a lot of debt in town, and there's been a lot of talk about that. And I contend that a city that's trying to spend its way to prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle. It doesn't work. Come on, we've got to be more realistic, more pragmatic than that. I believe that if an issue is important enough for council to deal with it, the community should know about it. We need to involve the community, not work around and in spite of them and in secret. Who works for who here? You for City Hall or City Hall for you? Come on, let's get real here. How do we pay down our debt? Listen very carefully and very quickly. This hasn't been talked about by anybody. Do you know that we are very, very fortunate to own our electrical infrastructure in the city of Swift Current? We are very fortunate. Do you know that we own the mineral rights underneath the city of Swift Current? Do you know that we already have 2 gas wells in the city of Swift Current, according to Mr. Lenstein, who I talked to just a few days ago? We need to uncork those. We need to find out if there's sufficient gas and good gas so that we can generate our own electricity. And we can do that. You know, we buy one generator, or we look into the feasibility, first of all. And if it's feasible, we buy one generator, we set it up where the old power plant was, all the other infrastructure is there, and we start generating. If it works, we buy another one immediately. SaskPower isn't going to like it. That's their tough luck. But they're commissioned by law to buy whatever electricity anybody generates. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do it. Now, I'm going to find out, it's like my friend Ray Bowen, when he was first elected to Moose Jaw Council. He said, Henry, he says, there's 3 kinds of people in society, pardon me. He says, the ones that go out there and forge ahead and they make it happen. He says, and then there are those that say, it'll never happen, it can't happen. And he says, the third class, they sit back and they wonder what happened. Well, I know what we can do. If we get together on this and we stop and just regenerate ourselves to the energy that was here, we can do it. Thank you all very, very much for coming, and God bless the city of Swift Current.
Thank you, Mr. Banman. Bruce Daig.
Thank you, Mr. Kreitzer. Good afternoon or evening, ladies and gentlemen. First off, I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce and Living Sky Casino for hosting this forum today. It's also very encouraging to see so many candidates put their name forward in this election. It shows a lot of passion for this city, and I wish good luck to all the candidates. It's a great honor for me to let my name stand for City Council. I'm running on the platform of common sense governance committed to our community. Since our family moved to SwiftCurrent in 2004 to pursue business and career opportunities, we've seen significant growth and enhancements. Some examples of this are the Cypress Regional Hospital, the Meadows Long-Term Care Facility, Great Plains College, and new residential areas, just to name a few. I feel the time is right in my life to contribute to this momentum by becoming a valuable member of the team that will continue to move forward with sustained planned growth. My experience as a business owner, longtime community volunteer, and member of several governance boards will give me the necessary tools to step in and give back to the community. If elected, one of the areas that I would like to focus on is our business atmosphere. We need to continue to create policies that will be both welcoming to both small and large businesses. We need to ensure that we have the appropriate amenities in our community that will encourage young families to consider SwiftCurrent as their home and a place where they like to create or relocate a business to. I have a concern about our youth at risk. I think we get complacent regarding the safety of our children. There are many influences in our community that endanger our youth. We need to be vigilant. There are several programs that come to mind that help in this area. Boys and Girls on the Move, The Center, Fresh Start, Maverick School, Dory's House, and of course, Safe Places are some of the great initiatives this compassionate community has developed. They need to be encouraged and supported. We also need to continue to invest in our infrastructure in a timely and cost-efficient manner. If we leave maintenance lag, it will cost us more in the long run. We need to continue to enhance our transit system, which would include investigating expanded routes. This will allow our senior citizens better access to all services that we offer. I would also like to continue to foster our relationships with our partners and our neighbors. That is critical to the growth of the Southwest Saskatchewan. I love this city. Let's keep the SwiftCurrent moving in the right direction. I humbly ask for your support on October 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daig. Ricardo Moron.
Thanks a lot, folks, for coming down here. First of all, I don't have a lot of time. I got a lot to say here, so I'm going to do my best. My platform is as follows. Addressing the needs of our first responders, civic employees. This includes safety, good working conditions, and fair bargaining negotiations. Our seniors, including tax relief program for qualified, low fixed income, so our seniors don't have to sacrifice food, medication, and a basic standard of life. Our seniors don't have the ability to generate income to pay skyrocketing taxes as they are going. Since when is this not our responsibility? Our addressing the needs and concerns of the Southside residents. They have been on the back burner long enough. Our suicidal double-digit tax increases need to be examined and fixed. I'm told by the city CAO, we have the SwiftCurrent advantage tax-wise. If so, why are we in such a hurry to destroy that? Debt. A forensic audit is needed to find out exactly where we are financially. With efforts to improve our fiscal responsibility, it will show how and where tax dollars were spent. We just can't pick a number out of the hat and say, this is what we owe. We need full disclosure on our financial situation and where our money has gone. And most importantly, a debt repayment plan. Better communication with city management, specifically returning phone calls. Not throwing your assistant on the front line to deal with a situation that they are not qualified to deal with, nor were hired for. We also need a City Hall mission statement in full view for all. Securing tax dollars with personal guarantees when investing in the private sector and deals. Also require more public input into that. And, of course, the right for all citizens to question elected officials and to be received by appointment to mayor, council, and city management in a timely fashion. I'm the owner-operator of Soup and Such Cafe. My community involvement includes the Senior Center as well as a charity fundraising. Each year, our cafe raises thousands of dollars for local charities. And of course, Dory's House is on that list. As a survivor myself, I would put my life on the line to protect a child or any other human in danger. You all know what I've endured at the hands of anonymous accusers who still refuse to come forward. I will not give any satisfaction by commenting to any anonymous accusation nor political bullying. Every attempt has been made to destroy my life, my business, my home, and candidacy. Well, let me tell you, I am on this stage. I am still in business. I open at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the soup is hot.
And I apologize, I should have referenced, there's time limits for each speaker. I think that council candidate has reached his time limit. Apologize, Mr. Moran, thank you very much.
I didn't see any cards. So.
We can't see it back here. Stand up. Get her to stand up.
Yeah, we'll just ask them to stand up, and I apologize, Mr. Moran, for that. We now move on to council candidate Lance Bowman.
My vision for Swift Current is that it's a city where residents, future residents, or tourists come driving into town from any direction, have the feeling that this is or could be home. When you go downtown, you have a feeling of pride and excitement and a feeling of community. I want Swift Current to be a place where opportunity is encouraged and new ideas are embraced. It is important that we decide what the right priorities are. That is why this election is important. I believe it's vital to invest both in the people who live here now, as well as the future growth. We can invest equally in all parts of the city. We have new infrastructure ready for industry and residential growth. We have been improving and maintaining our roads and sewer systems. As we know, we never notice how important these things are until they're not available. We also have great parks, and there's a plan for improving the downtown. I know it cannot all be done at once. I do, however, believe that a portion of property taxes that are collected in a designated area should be allocated for maintaining and renewing that area of town. Whether it's residential, downtown, or the service roads, it's a balance. It is important that individuals feel that their homes and businesses are just as important to the city as new development. As city elected councillors, we have a fiduciary responsibility for our city. It'll be our job to make sure that we spend and invest your money wisely as possible. Responsible debt is not bad. It is actually necessary, as long as we keep it so that when we have a downturn, we have the capability to get through the tough times without putting the burden on our children's shoulders. We need to focus on growing our base, as this tax is the primary source of our revenue to the city. We all have a certain skill set that has taken us to where we are today: decision-making, hard-working, and smart planning. When it comes to skills that are not our expertise, I believe we should leave it to be outsourced to the experts in their fields. Let developers develop, bankers bank, and the city make policy that'll open opportunities for all people and businesses to grow. City Hall is a community. As leaders, we are responsible to the people who make our city function. We need to support them, give them what they need to succeed. This starts at the top with council, administration, and department heads. It's important that we are always giving to those we rely upon the authority, resources, and respect they need to do their jobs efficiently and effectively and with enthusiasm. The major recipients will be you, the citizens of Swift Current, keeping all areas of our city attractive, safe, and growing. True leadership believes that they have the responsibility to people to work on the front lines. In my experience, when workers feel that their leaders are in the game of life with them, anything is possible. On October 26th, I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Did the remaining candidates, could you see the cards now? Okay, perfect. Dwayne Collier.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here. After careful consideration, I decided to throw my name into the hat And just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I thought a lot of people don't know who I am. So I was born and raised in Swift Current. Upon graduation, I moved to Edmonton and went to NAIT and received a diploma there. And after that, I joined a company called Core Lab, which is a reservoir engineering firm, and worked for them for about 23 years, holding various positions from basic core analysis to setting up new offices. The offices I was involved in setting up and living in different cities included Edmonton, Dartmouth, Calgary, Estevan, Karachi, Pakistan, Abu Dhabi, Bangkok, Thailand, and Dallas, Texas. Some of my responsibilities in those offices were coordinating with government agencies to establish local registrations, setting up the facilities, hiring and training personnel, making sales contacts, setting budgets, and providing cost-cutting measures and closures wherever necessary. In Thailand, I was secretary of the Society of Petroleum Engineers for 2 years and a member of the Foreign Correspondents Club. When my dad fell ill, we decided to move back here. And my wife saw Baum and Matthew and my daughter Melissa, excuse me, we came back to take over the local business. When Dad died, we continued to do so. It was a good decision because we were able to raise our family close to friends and relatives in a smaller, friendly, safer community. I feel with my past experiences and the ability to convey suggestions encountered daily from all walks of life, flexibility and hard work ethic will be an asset to the people of Swift Current. If elected as a first-time councillor, be prudent to become up to speed on current budgets, expenses, upcoming projects previously committed to, and ones currently going on. Take a look at our reserve funds, our short and long-term objectives. Upon the above review, I'd better be more focused and be able to answer on a few things. And some of my focus would be on maintaining our infrastructure with current taxes before moving forward. Review in a detailed current working expenses and projects, cost comparisons for taxes and business and other areas in other cities. Reviewing why a lot of the businesses do move to the RM rather than stay in town. Review our current debt load and payment structures for reduction. I'm against the integrated facility up by the hospital because if the ultimate plan is population growth, we would require to expand the school, meadows, and hospital. I would very humbly would thank you if I'm on the City Council. I do have more things that I can offer, and I would like to thank everybody for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Collier. Don Robinson.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out this evening. This election is a pivotal one for the City of Swift Current. I believe I can make a positive contribution towards making some changes in the areas of finance and taxation. After a number of years of double-digit tax increases, I believe this trend needs to stop. We've had property taxes increase by 70% in the past 6 years. Those numbers are simply not sustainable. I would think any increase should be kept similar to our rate of inflation. As I speak to our residents, they don't really care what taxes are in other cities. They just know they can't afford any more. People with lower fixed incomes find it difficult to find any extra dollars in their budget, let alone large yearly increases. We need to recognize they are also paying considerably more for their sewer and water and user fees for city utilities. It would be best for the city to find extra dollars within their own operation. In order to help with this, I would propose an operational review. An expert would take a close look at our operations and organizational structure. They would tell us what we need to do in order to make us more efficient and economically sound. Our debt has reached record levels, and 2 years ago, Council made the determination that more debt needed to be repaid by the way of taxation. They passed a bylaw that mandates a yearly 6% increase. This bylaw is scheduled to run for 5 years. I agree our debt does need to be paid more quickly, but not always through increases to our taxes. If elected, I would ask our council to rescind this bylaw. If we require funds to meet our obligations, we need to find efficiencies within our own operations and not spend beyond our means. We simply can't be all things to all people all the time. One other area we need to address is that of acting as a lending institution to the fortunate few. This is not a mandate for any city. We can't be picking winners and losers in addition to putting our taxpayers' dollars at risk. We need to leave the lending of money to the financial institutions and focus on more traditional areas such as sewer and water, roads, sidewalks, public protection, and property development. City Council needs to treat every dollar they spend as if it were their own. If elected to council, my decisions will be based on what I feel our residents would want me to do in any particular situation. After all, if I am elected, I am your representative whom you have delegated your authority to in order to operate our city. We can't change the past, but we can work today to prepare for our future. It would be an honor if you would allow me to represent you on council, and I promise I will do everything within my power to keep our city great.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Ron Tolles.
It's hard to steer a parked car and make any progress. Good evening. My name is Ron Tolles, and I'm asking for your vote on October 26th. Carol and I are blessed to have lived, worked, and raised our family in Swift Current. I am a retired teacher. Thanks to the Chamber, the Living Sky Casino, and Mr. Kreitzer for making this event happen. 4 years ago, I stood on this stage and I promised you that if elected, I would work hard for the people of Swift Current. I have kept that promise. I worked hard on the Prairie Pioneer Independent Housing Board, and I currently serve and work hard as a board member of the Southwest Youth Emergency Shelter, the Chinook Regional Library Board, the Swift Current Library Board, and the Swift Current and District Drug Task Force. These boards are filled with people who desire to see Swift Current grow and thrive. Dory's House is an example of what we can do when people cooperate and work together, all aiming for the cause of making Swift Current better, stronger, safer. I have attended nearly all of the public meetings and information sharing events over the past 4 years. I not only say I care, I show I care. I have listened to and responded to the people of Swift Current by hearing their concerns and relaying the message to the appropriate department and getting back to the people involved. I support local business. All of my major purchases are made in Swift Current. I not only say I support, I do support. We need to continue to develop industrial land and housing to attract corporations to our city. In the past 4 years, we have seen incredible growth and some major business and industry locate or relocate here, providing jobs and sustaining our local businesses. Investors are very impressed with our city. I'm proud to be part of a council that has made some tough decisions this term. Our financial strategy has allowed us to fund operations without increasing debt, and as the strategy goes forward, we will be paying down more of the debt. Swift Current has much to be proud of and the envy of a lot of other cities. Safe places, hosting world events, education, recreation, positive growth. I am known as a good listener and for making sound judgments and decisions. I hope I have earned the respect of the community for my work. On October 26th, let's keep Swift Current moving forward. My opening quote tonight says, "We do not want a parked car. We're either moving forward or we're moving backward. Standing still is still losing ground to those going forward. Going forward is the reason why your windshield is so much bigger than your rearview mirror." I will continue to serve and to work hard. I will end tonight with 2 quotes. First, from Gandhi. "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." For most of my adult life, I have served this community as a volunteer in many different organizations and events. On October 26th, I ask for your support to continue down the road of positive action, positive growth for the great city of Swift Current. Let's not change who we are.
Hello. Good evening, and thank you to those watching at home and those in attendance. There has been a lot put forth by some good candidates this evening, so I'll try to keep mine short and to the point. I have a vision for this great city, and I wish to share it with you. I see a city of 20,000 plus, where we have excellent sidewalks and roads, snow removal when it snows, and a place that promotes family health and values in a recreational center, moderate tax increases, and a larger variety of shopping and businesses. A place where we can feel safe to stroll at night, the type of place where one can raise a family. It is time for the next council to not take a step backward to the way things used to be, but to leap forward and expand the city in a fiscally responsible manner. We need to find the efficiencies in our operations. The past is the past. We cannot change what has been done, but to continue with the status quo is not acceptable. This city needs to constantly change and adapt. We need to move ahead. We need forward thinking. We must actively attract large-scale industry to the city to create more jobs. Jobs that will lead to more population who will have to buy or build houses, which will expand our tax base and will provide the city more revenue, which will allow for the opportunity to build a reserve fund for future projects, provide better services to the citizens of Swift Current, and allow us to pay down debt. We need to learn from our mistakes and move forward. This is my vision, and I would be extremely honored if the citizens of this great city would extend me the opportunity to help make it a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholson. Stacey Ellerson.
Everybody's still awake? My daughter isn't. She's 14 and she is still awake. I'm impressed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to thank you for taking time to join us this evening. I would like to also thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event and welcome all the candidates here tonight. It is truly an honor to be here representing Swift Current. And I will be saying on the outset that I have never been one to spend just for the sake of spending. I firmly believe council members are elected to govern the municipal coffers for its community needs, not always what it wants. I said 7 years ago that if the city was allowed its debt limit, it would be used. Ask yourself if that came true. Of course, as long as the revenue increases, so too does that debt ceiling. Right now, the financials show the city holding approximately $75.7 million in debt, with a ceiling now of $110 million. That's a lot of zeros. The city only has two primary resources: its light and power and its municipal tax. Based on a population base of 17,500, a family of four now owes $17,316 in debt. After 10 days of reflection, prayer, and some sleepless nights, I did decide to run. Not for myself, but for those who urged me to. I just couldn't turn my back on their trust. Now, some have implied that this election is a us versus them thing, that some are champions of positivity and others are pessimistic troublemakers at best. I want to say that every single one of us up here care, and we wouldn't be putting ourselves through this scrutiny, and I admire everyone's passion up here. I also firmly believe that every council member of the past have done what they believe is their very best and what they believe is in the best interest of the city. I'm not questioning their integrity. I refuse to engage in labeling anyone or implying any conspiracy theories. I'm a professional counselor. I talk to people about problems 6-7 hours a day, so I guess I see problems when everybody else sees opportunity. But I also see potential. I'm in the business of asking perturbing questions. That's what I do. So I will question policies that I think potentially undermine the long-term financial viability of the city and its future citizens. And I encourage the citizens to step up and vote. If you're happy with the status quo, vote. If you want to see a healthier direction, vote. You may not think your vote counts, but even if the person you voted for doesn't get elected, you're sending a message. As a long-term resident and past city councilor, I know how important it is to ensure our citizens' tax dollars are efficiently utilized for the long-term viability of our community. I am a value-based decision maker and strongly support everything that we're doing in this community, and I got to end because I ran out of time. I just wanted to say I will bring a balanced perspective, honor your vote, and hard-earned money. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Ellerson. We've had a quick moment of meeting for in regards to the missed cues for Mr. Moran, and we thought out of fairness if we could turn on that mic again. And what we wanted to do is give Mr. Moran 15 more seconds so he gets his warning time.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
In an opportunity of fairness.
Thanks a lot.
You're on, Mr. Moran.
And finally, every journey, no matter how long or how far it is, starts with just one single step. And tonight I'm taking that first single step by announcing I will not live in fear. I will continue to advocate for our seniors, the disenfranchised, and the voices that have been muzzled. I now ask you to judge me in all the good deeds that I have done for this city. I am Ricardo Morin. I am running for council. My platform will be honored, and I will persevere.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Unfortunately, Mr. Bowditch took ill this evening. I think he's doing very well. His wife may be in attendance this evening, so he's unable to attend to give his speech. He's passed it on to the Chamber of Commerce to provide, and I believe the Chamber of Commerce will be reading in his speech. Make sure you're aware of the time cards.
I've already taken care of that. So I will try to read this. I don't know if I'll do as good a job as George could have had he been here. George has been blessed to have been able to serve the citizens of Swift Current for the past 7 years, and he is unable to be here tonight to ask for your support for his next 4 years. Debt and taxes always seem to take center stage during each election, and once again this year it is true. This is normal, but there's one key ingredient that is missing. The citizens of our great community are first and foremost in his mind. The way he conducts his city affairs is to view each and every person in Swift Current as a very important part of the community, a safe and caring community. First off, as a safe and caring community, we must ensure that we have safe water to drink, and we have done so with our recently expanded water treatment facility, which we have built to a size that our neighbors in the rural areas and around us also have safe water. We have a wastewater treatment plant that we had paid for so we can treat these wastes and provide people downstream with safe waters. We have a city-owned power utility that provides us with the power we need to run our homes and businesses. We have fire and police to keep us safe and protected. We also have infrastructure such as water lines, sewer lines, lights, and street to maintain. These are fixed costs of doing business that we often take for granted, but is expected and the city must provide. In a safe and caring community, we as a city must ensure all residents are taken care of, young, elderly, rich, or poor. Safe Places Youth Certified Training Program that has been set up in Swift Current and is serving as a model for other communities is something that he is extremely proud of. Our youth are our future, and every child must feel safe and not be subject to the horrors that some before them have experienced. We are leaders in this area, and he wants to see Safe Places program grow and be the constant throughout our province. He is very proud of our partnership with the municipalities and communities around Swift Current with the completion of our long-term care facility, the Meadows. Our seniors have shaped our community, and they deserve the very best in care as they move into their twilight years. The facilities we once had were great in their time, but they need to be replaced, and the Southwest worked hard to ensure this has happened. During this past term, we were able to establish scheduled public transportation in the city, and he is very, very proud of this accomplishment as it affords transportation to the people that do not want to drive or cannot drive. Public transportation costs money and does not break even, but is all needed to the citizens of Swift Current. He feels one of the biggest strengths he had as a councillor has been his ability to listen and learn from the citizens. He will continue to do so and work towards your needs and concerns. He doesn't have all the answers, but he will do his best to get answers for you. He wants to hear your ideas for making our community better so we can make Swift Current even better. Once again, he humbly asks for your support in this year's election.